What's up, folks?
Hey, everybody! How's it going tonight?
So, what'd you think about that? What'd you think about that intro, Deland?
So the intro I thought was fantastic, but Ruinick, I think it was, said it. He said, "Dang, that intro was getting long." Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to figure out eventually another way to do that, to shorten it up, because I think there's only so much time StreamYard allows you to have for the opener. But we're going to get right to saying hello to everybody. I'm glad you guys are here, and thank you for being here. We do have an amazing guest tonight, and
Yes,
I don't want to hold him up any longer. So, Rusty, go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Yep. Billy Shoemate, New Beginnings, June, House of Crafts, Electric Whittler, Shoop's Wood Shop. What's up? Steve, looky there. Steve Dowdy fixed his name. All right, Steve, I'm proud of you, my friend. Runic, that guy. Dad Carves, Bear and the Boss Lady, Beaten Crazy. Let's see. Did we see Plywood in there? I thought I seen Plywood in there somewhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. There he is, Plywood. And I think that's everybody for right now. Sorry if I missed you. Oh, Boring Guy DIY. What's up, Boring Guy?
Yeah, Boring Guy. He's really nice. I've
nice
talked to him a little bit, and he sent in some work.
Oh, Jeff Dowdy's in there. What's up, Jeff?
Yep.
How are you, buddy? Tim List.
Is Boring Guy a moderator? Can't remember if I made him a mod or not. I'm not seeing him. If not, I'll get it. So, anyways, we have a fantastic guest tonight.
Right? How did you get this guy?
I don't want to hold him up backstage anymore.
Did you pay him?
Please welcome Matt from Matt Carves.
Hey, g'day everybody. It's Matt here. It's actually Friday morning here, so it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's the future.
Did
so
I just
lose pretty cool.
Internet?
Nice.
That would be...
What the heck? Sorry.
What's going on there?
Weird call. Artsy Doodles. What's up, Artsy? Matt, thank you for
taking
time out of your extremely busy day, I'm sure. And first I got to ask you, what did you think of your intro? Did you see it? You didn't see
it?
No.
Didn't see it. I will rewatch it afterwards. I was fiddling around doing some stuff on here, and then
Okay. We lost the land. He lost service for a second. He'll be back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Amy Jo's in there. Jay Creates. Man,
there's a lot of people in there, man.
Yeah. Miss Carrie. I seen her in there. So I guess we'll start off with how did you come about carving and jumping in? How did that happen?
Well, I've always about that. That's all good. I come from like a family of artists. My father's actually a cabinet maker.
Oh, wow.
And he was also a very good sort of like carver with chisels and all of that kind of stuff. So I grew up around it, and I've been a painter and all of these kind of different things. But I think I can't really give you a time when I became a carver, because I've sort of dabbled in it for quite a few years, and it was probably only about 4 years ago when I started the YouTube channel that I did it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I kind of work as an artist as well, so I'm sort of making stuff as well along the other on a different sort of in a different area. Make stuff out of clay and all those kind of things, and I work at a foundry as well, fixing up other people's artworks. But we can talk a little bit more about that. But that's kind of like an overview, I guess.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if because the running joke around here is I lost internet for a second, and I actually worked for the internet company, so that was quite embarrassing. But anyways,
I've seen that happen before, actually. I think.
Yeah, it's bad. Right when it hit start, it was like. Anyways, I want to let everybody know, and we can talk about this a little bit ahead of time. Matt may have to jump off screen really quick. He is actually, for those that don't know, a volunteer fireman. So if he has to go, he's not being rude. He is being called to do his job. Now, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, probably. I think I've been in the fire service for about 3 years, and I mainly deal with wild land fires, as you probably call them over there. So we don't deal with structure fires. And virtually, like the fire station here is probably 200 meters away from my house.
Okay.
So if you hear this air raid siren, you'll see me just go, I'm just gone. And you can be gone for for about 12 hours, you could be gone, or you could be gone for half an hour. It's such an unknown what you're going to be called out for. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's sort of about helping the community out. I live in quite a small community here, probably about 200 people, but we get called into other areas to help fight fires as well.
Now, how long have you done that?
3 years.
It's about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so have you been in any situations where it's kind of it's got sketchy? It's like, this may have we may be in too deep on that.
Yeah, it was like it probably wasn't as bad, but when I think about it, maybe it was. I'm not sure. But we were in these two valleys, and the wind was fierce, man. It was about 100 k's an hour, and like it's sort of blowing into your eyes all the time. So you really feel it, like you got dust in your eyes and all of that. And we had the fire under control, but then the wind even picked up more, and it just all of these spot fires just took off, and it was the first time that I thought, man, fire can move fast. I just had never seen anything like it, and it virtually just. Well, I was lucky because it kind of had burnt through that kind of area anyway, but it was burning the rest of the wood in this whole valley, and it virtually looked before it hit. You could see that valley, and there was nothing there. There was a few little smoky kind of piles happening, and then within about half an hour, that valley was in flames, and the next valley over also caught, and it was all on. And I sort of got trapped up the road a little bit, so I couldn't actually escape. So I just had to wait it out for a while. So, but it wasn't too bad because I was in a big area without any combustible kind of stuff there. But
right.
It was exciting.
Fire in that instance can jump so fast. Now, I've never been in that scenario, so I'm just talking. But my son, he goes to different states, or he's been to different states, and he's one of those people that go through and cut fire breaks through woods.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because for one, that helps get equipment back there, but then it also hopefully separates it so it won't jump. So he was telling me, he brought home a piece of wood from California. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. That was actually burnt, and it's actually really cool. I'm supposed to do something with it, but I'm not ready for that yet. So that's cool. If you don't mind, I have a few questions to ask.
Sure.
So
no
give me
problem.
a second to get ready. All right,
Yep.
Here we go. Yeah,
It's
just
a big.
about ready. I have them down here. I just had to do that for effects, trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Um, did you have a mentor when you first started? I mean, I know you kind of talked about your family. You came from a family of artists, but did you have one person that really inspired you to um, get into your arts and then, you know, bump it up into like college? Because you did go to art school. So I was just wondering, did you have a mentor, and who would it have been?
Yeah, it was a guy. It was quite a long time ago. It was probably about 25 years ago, and there was a guy called Paul Judd, and he was taking these night classes just in painting, and he was just one of those teachers that was really good and really inspiring, and I just loved his artworks as well. And I don't know. After that class, I knew what I wanted to do long term.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I was working in hospitals as a medical scientist there, and so I went full time probably about 5 years ago as an artist. But he really inspired me. But yeah, it's
So,
I think I don't know what it was about it, but like he was just really open to talking about art as well, and really knowledgeable.
so then it's I don't want to say funny, but it's ironic you say that, because I feel like he rubbed off on you quite a bit, because watching your videos, you are inspiring and you are open and really willing to dig in and teach people how to carve. So with you saying that, I can actually see the marriage between the two, and I don't even know him, but with your words, I can really see where you're coming from with that. So that's
Yeah, oh,
awesome.
cool. Cheers, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy teaching people, and it's really nice to get those comments back as well. Um, and when I'm making the videos, I really try and think, what can I say here that will make a difference to somebody learning to carve. And it's quite
Mm-hmm.
hard, really. I think, especially sometimes when you're quite deep into carving, is you have to kind of almost go back and think what it was like to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And because it's a struggle learning to carve, it's sort of like you're given this block of wood and you go, everyone has a problem making a nose, and
Right here.
yeah, try and think how can I make this a little bit easier, yeah.
Well, one thing that I was really impressed with is, in a couple of your videos, and I think it was your nose and your eye video, if I'm not mistaken, where you were actually going back to like hand carving books with actual carving tools, and then figuring out how to transpose that from knives and tools to the Dremel, and that was really impressive. I learned a lot from that. I still can't do an eye or a nose very well, but
Yeah,
that was impressive. It gives you a whole different way to look at the piece of wood that you're working on.
yeah.
Awesome.
I think what I've found in my own approach is I like to come at something from a lot of different angles.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'll go to like Alec Lacaste's kind of videos and just watch him, how he carves a face. And also, I do a lot of what's called wax works for other artists, where I'm sort of repairing their work, and sometimes it's full body figures.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll have to create something that's been missed out in the process of making a bronze or something like that. And I've done. I'll just show you here. I think I've shown this previously, but I've made these kind of like this This is out of clay, and so I do sort of courses in how to make figures out of clay, and I'm doing a full kind of like figure at the moment through a guy who used to work for Weta Workshop, and Weta Workshop is the ones that do like Lord of the Rings and all of that. So they're very knowledgeable people. So so he taught me how to sort of like do clay kind of works as well. So, and how to do figures and portraits with clay. And so that's so I like to come at things from all different angles, and just to sort of like try and improve your knowledge in a full kind of way, as opposed to just looking at it just through carving. Does that kind of make sense?
I not exactly what you're doing, but there are times to where I'll get a piece of furniture or I'll have something brought to me to try and repair, renew, or fix. And while it's not the same, I completely understand trying to, fix the clay to be able to fix the piece. I had a almost 100-year-old piano bench. Matter of fact, I think it was a little over 100 years old. Brought to me, and I had to figure out how to put it back together. I took it completely apart, fixed everything, put it back together, and it is still now a solid, functional piece of furniture. So even though it's different, the two really coincide with each other. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah. And I think the more you kind of work with your hands, the better you get at understanding what you can do,
Yes. Yep. So, Rusty, before I keep going on, do you have anything? I don't want to keep you out, but do you have anything you'd like to ask, Matt?
Find in different disciplines that you were saying that you were in, that you have incorporated, like something from one discipline, into another one, or something taught you something different, in metalworking, or you moved it from wood to metalworking, or have you seen that at all, or do you?
I don't know whether you kind of see it, but it's kind of subtly there. It's sort of like in your subconscious, maybe. If you're making a face out of clay, you get to really understand the dynamics of a face, like the contours and all of those kind of things. The thing is with carving, it's probably the hardest thing to do, because you're removing the wood and you don't get a second chance at it, because with clay you just add a little bit more on if you make a mistake, whereas in wood it's particularly quite hard to do that. So, but I think especially with these kind of three-dimensional things, the more sort of like you can learn about it. I have books on anatomy and all of those kind of things. There's a lot that goes on that you kind of guys don't see, I guess. When I'm carving something, I think the best thing you can do is have reference material. And if you're carving a face, it's good to have like the front, the side, and the top and the bottom, just to sort of start to understand. And I think to a lot of people, you've got the perfect reference material there. You've got your own face, and even if you're, the general kind of shapes of it are the same, and you can sort of just look at the contours of it as you're carving. I think the biggest mistake, not a mistake, but sort of like biggest thing is people don't sort of round the face off enough, like going back like that. A lot of wood spirits are quite flat in their faces. And that's not a problem. It's if you like doing that, that's cool. But like if you're going for more of a realistic kind of look, you've really got to have that angle going back. And I think that's what's really an advantage when you're hand carving or whittling is they teach you on that square block of wood, because it's sort of like angled back like that anyway. So you're halfway there.
Yeah, and being new to carving, I've only been carving a few months. And you're right. The reference material and trying to get the contour of the face and the eyes, which I still can't do eyes. I'm practicing. I'm getting a nose. But really, I come back and I haven't done it yet, but I think you had a protractor or a compass in one of your episodes where you were actually like measuring out the eyes, the distance between the side of the face to the nose, top of the nose to the forehead, and really lining it up. And that was good to see. One thing I do want to say real quick, because we have not said it. If there's anybody by chance that has not subscribed to Matt's channel, it is pinned at the top of the chat. Please go there and subscribe, especially if you like carving and you're doing carving, you want to go and watch his videos. Even if you don't do carving for the educational purpose of it, you will probably start doing carving when you watch his videos. He's really brilliant in the way he approaches and completes the projects that he does. So if you have not subbed to his channel, please go and sub. Now, with that being said, I would like to ask another question, as long as you don't mind. And we can take a break from the questions if you like. I want to be...
It's good.
I want to be respectful to your time and everybody else's, because everybody, they're here to see you. I'm trying to think of how to say this. How do you approach? Now, I noticed on a lot of the videos that you use the blocks of woods or different, materials. But if you're going to carve something, how do you approach the piece of wood or the type of wood that you use to carve? Is there a certain wood that you would use for a certain project, or do you even look that far in advance? If you think I want to make this, I'm going to do it out of this type of wood. Do you run into that at all?
Yeah, a little bit. For like your general kind of wood spirits and stuff like that, I like to choose a wood that's easier to carve. And we've got a wood over here which is called macrocarpa, which is actually from California, I believe. And it's kind of like it's a bit harder than basswood, I think, and it's very stable outside and all of those kind of things. It's probably one of the woods that you see me most carving, and I'd probably recommend people carving in a semi-softer wood because it's just easier, especially when you're learning. Because it's carving hardwood is hard work. It's hard on your tools and it takes a long time. So you don't really want to do it because like you might lose motivation when you spend like half an hour just blocking out or something like that. But if I'm starting to carve sort of something like that little chess piece there.
Yep. Hold on one second. There you go.
Yeah, that chess piece there. Now, I've done a few of these chess pieces. I've got this one here as well. And these are recreations of the Lewis chess pieces that was found in England. And they were originally made out of walrus tusks. And they're from the medieval kind of age. So I decided to carve it in oak because I just felt oak was a little bit more, what would you say, it's a little bit more substantial and sort of has a little bit more, I don't know, it's a nicer wood to carve something. Oak is respected, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But the problem with oak is it's actually quite hard to carve. So
but
because it has
oak is one of those woods. Even in making, building stuff and making stuff, it is very hard. Not just to carve, but it's hard to cut. It's challenging, but it's a beautiful wood. Now, looking at those pieces that you just put up, I'm going to guess that you didn't paint them or anything. You just put a clear coat on them, maybe stain them a little bit. And that is a beautiful color, and that's what oak gives you. So I can completely understand why you chose oak to do those, because they're beautiful pieces, very beautiful pieces.
We got a question from John. Is there a type of wood that you would like to carve but have not got a hold of it yet?
I'd love to carve cottonwood bark. The pieces that I see on Alec DeCas's videos and Geordie's and those kind of guys carving the cottonwood bark is just really cool. And we don't get it here in New Zealand. And this is a shout out to the electric whittler. He tried to send me some wood to New Zealand, and great on him for trying to do that. But our customs and border security is pretty strict here. We have quite a strong agricultural kind of economy here, so they really want to keep out all the bugs and all of that. So they sent it back to the electric whittler.
I was going to touch on that. Here in Michigan, you're actually not supposed to transport wood from past county line to county line, because of the different type of species and insects that may live in them. Like the ash borer. I don't know if you've ever heard of the ash borer, but the ash borer does really bad damage to the ash trees here. So I could see where trying to send something overseas or to a different country where they would, frown on that. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but a great question. Yeah, I'd love to carve cottonwood bark. I think it would actually make me give up the Dremel and just do chisel carving, because it just looks beautiful to slice into it, that sound and all.
Now I was able to, thanks to Bear, a while back when we were doing the Wounded Warrior project, he sent me one piece of cottonwood bark to carve. And for me, it was probably too nice of a piece of wood for a new beginner to carve, but it was beautiful, and it's very fine. It has a very fine dust on it. But yes, it was for me. I think it was a bit much, too nice of a wood for a new carver to carve. But I would love to see you get your hands on that, because the color it changes, and it's just a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece of wood.
Yeah. And I think also along that question as well, I think, we all get a little bit jealous of Geordie out there, and he just needs to go down to the beach and he gets these amazing pieces of wood. And yeah, that's so cool. We don't really get that. We can get cedar here, but it's pretty rare. And big pieces of wood like that it's very expensive.
Yeah. So cedar is around. It's everywhere around here. When I go up north, I've probably got a whole cedar tree over there laying down, just because when I go up north, there is a section that has been logged. And every time I go up north, I just try and walk through there and see what scrap pieces I can find. And I've got a lot of cedar. Then we are right off of Lake Huron up in the northern Michigan. So I'm not able to find the things Geordie can find. But from time to time, I find some really nice driftwood, most of which I have sitting over there because I don't want to touch it until I get better, because I don't want to ruin how beautiful it is. So yeah, that's a little honesty for me.
Yeah, cool.
Go ahead, Rusty.
I just wanted to show Matt this. Let's see. I'm going to share screen here. Shoot, where is it? Here we go. So this was your intro
Cool.
Yeah. It's you in your room right there.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I've
You
got
know,
Yeah.
I've definitely
AI
got
is
a full of
amazing.
mustache there.
Yeah.
Matt, I have to tell you, don't ever give Rusty your address.
Yeah.
All
Don't
right,
tell
yeah,
him that. Come on.
No,
yeah.
I'm just joking. I am just joking. So
It's all right. I live quite a long way away, so I should be safe.
you're not.
Right?
You
I'm
are
getting in a
not.
rowboat. I'm going to get in a rowboat.
In 15 minutes, he will tell you how many cars you have, how many windows are on your house, and what type of grass you have.
Yeah.
So, are you? And I know it's different here, but I'm going to call it what y'all call it. Are you a football fan?
I do watch it occasionally. Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I didn't know
Um,
it. Isn't there? Isn't there like a rivalry with you and the Aussies, with you New Zealand
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Aussies? Don't
Yeah.
y'all?
I tend to
Yeah.
watch those bigger games if it's like free to air on TV or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so the national game is called rugby, and
Oh, okay, rugby. All right, I was talking about we
yeah,
call it soccer, but I was gonna follow
oh,
up with I've watched rugby a few times and it seems a little confusing, but it looks amazing. I mean,
yeah,
it is rough. It is rough stuff,
it,
buddy. And they don't have pads like they got over
no,
here playing football.
no,
They are full contact. Yeah,
yep,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
So,
So, um, what keeps you motivated? You've done such fantastic work through the years, and you do like museum quality work? What keeps you motivated to keep going? I know earlier, um, you had mentioned, learning a bunch of different aspects to be able to, put into your craft. But what truly keeps you motivated to continue going and to pick up that block of wood and say, you know what, I'm going to carve this today? Because at some point in time, everybody goes through, let's call it writer's block or creator's block. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated?
um, I guess I get inspired by other people's work,
Okay.
and if I'm not sort of like motivated myself, I'll go just on Pinterest, and there's just so much on there. And when you're teaching stuff, you can sort of like, not copy stuff, but just copy the idea, I guess. And yeah, I just really like that kind of stuff. And my problem is I sort of try and do too much.
Mhm.
Sometimes I wish I just did wood spirits, and I'd just love to get really good at doing wood spirits, but I just like to do other stuff as well. So, I just recently bought a chainsaw and all of that. So, like when the weather improves and I get a bit more free time, I want to get out there and do some chainsaw carving. It's just, I don't know. I just love it so much. It's kind of a freedom. What I would say is I've got kind of like separate lives. Like I've got my artworks that I do for money, and I've got another business where I make jewelry out of wood. So all the carvings that you see, I never sell. Um, and I think there's a beauty in that, because I've found over the years, if you start selling stuff, this is just for me, I'm not sort of saying for anyone else to follow this, but once you start selling stuff, it's sort of like, it kind of like you get niched down into an area, and you might find yourself very successfully selling one thing, so you won't sort of experiment doing other things. Whereas if you don't sell things, you just can do anything that you want, and it's sort of that freedom in wood carving for me that I really love.
And I completely 110% agree with you. But what I may add, if you don't mind, is when you start selling stuff, yes, you not only get niche down to a certain type of item or an item, but sometimes when you get to that point, you do lose the freedom and you lose the enjoyment because you don't get to do the things that you want. One thing I love about me making stuff and building stuff specifically for my house is because I can enjoy it. And while somebody may call me up and say, hey, look, I really like that. Do you mind making me one? I will be more than happy to make that for them. But yes, you kind of, when you get stuck in that loop of over and over and over having to make things for others, you kind of lose your joy of why you were doing it. Is that?
Do you have a big family around you? Do you have a?
Not really. I don't have any kids. I've got a dog and my wife Julie, and we live in this small little house. But my parents, they live up in the North Island, which is like New Zealand has 3 islands. It's got the North Island, the South Island. So they live up in the North Island where I grew up. And I was born in England, but came over here when I was about 2 years old. But yeah, so I haven't got a big family around me. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Rusty touched on something that I want to talk about real quick, just because I think it's awesome, and it's great that you do this. Speaking of the family part, and you had mentioned that you have a dog. On your YouTube page, when I was reading through your bio, you had mentioned that you foster dogs, which is great.
Well, I used to.
What's that?
I used to do that. Okay. Not so much anymore. No.
But that's still amazing, because if when you foster animals like that and are able to put them into other homes rather than the alternative, that is awesome. Yeah. So I wanted to give you a thank you for that, because that's really cool. It's really good that you do that.
Sure. Yeah. We did quite a few of them.
I know for me, making stuff. So my mom, who lives right next door, whenever I make something, she's the first one to get it. I just make it and I'm like, here you go, Mom. This is a prototype. You get this. I made her the coffee table because I wanted to make a coffee table, and she took it. She says she loves it. I don't know. I guess moms are always going to be a little biased towards you or whatever, and be like, oh, that's so pretty, But I have found that family, when they figure out that you're making stuff or know how to make stuff, they start coming to you and oh, hey, can you do this, or can you build me this or whatever. And I love to do it. I love the challenge of figuring something out, but is there like, tell us about a time that a project didn't go as planned, and did it morph into something else, or did you learn something from it to do on the next one? I mean, oh, that's no, you can't fix that, that's too deep on that part, or or can you always fix it? You just have to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. When I'm carving wood spirits, sometimes I don't carve them to finish them. I carve them because I want to see how far I can push them. So, like, I'll just carve a nose and then I'll just keep on carving into it. So, if something isn't, like, if I'm carving something, it's happened before, like you're carving a face and it hasn't gone quite the way you wanted it to, then I'll try and change things on it just so I can get that experience. I won't give up on it, but I'll throw it out at the end,
Right.
It's just a matter of sort of like, sometimes it's good not to be too attached to your carvings. and to look at it as practice. It's sort of just going in just to practice the nose or something like that, and then just throw it out and start another one. It's
Right.
I think, yeah. Carry on.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, I was just going to ask, leading off of that, do you look for projects that it's like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I can do this. Like this is going to be, do you push yourself? Do you? It's like I'm going to complete this. I'm going to do this one. It's out of my wheelhouse, but I'm going to tackle it. I'm going to go for it. Do you do that a lot? Do you never do that?
Yes and no. I
Yes and no.
should be carving female faces, just because they are hard, man.
Right.
But it's sort of you must. I always wonder if the problem with female faces is everyone carves male faces for so long, and then you go to carve a female face, and you just say practice carving a male face. It's going to slip back in, sort of like you're going to use the same techniques, and it's just not going to work. So
you said you're a painter. Do you have that problem painting a female face?
I never really painted faces. I was more of a lot of my paintings were architectural kind of based paintings of scenes in Greece and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So I never really painted people and all that. I can, if push comes to shove, I used to do a little bit of drawing of people. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Nice. So I have a question, kind of tying all that in together. Now with the wood spirits, I know, you block it off, do your center line, figure out where you're going to have your nose and your eyes. But with your artistic background, is there ever a time where you're going to go into a project, not so freehand as a wood spirit, but where you actually draw it out first to see exactly how you want it to look, or to be specific for it, and then carve it?
Not really. I know this guy here.
Whoa!
That guy there.
No!
That guy there that I did. I actually had done a clay figure of a male. I'll just grab it now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Holy crap.
There you guys go. Halloween challenge. Make what Matt just held up.
Hang on, guys. I've just got to move some stuff.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
Fine. So I'm going to go ahead while he's doing that and just quickly run through and see if we didn't say hi to anybody. Like Miss Francis is in there. Hello, Miss Francis. EW, I know we've said hi to you. June, Mark tries to carve.
Cat Piece is in there. Carrie Frasca.
Flossie.
Mark tries to carve.
Yep, John. So if we haven't said hi to you yet, just know we appreciate you being here. And I think Carrie's here. And if you guys have a question, please put it into chat, because this is kind of a time for that. I have questions ready, but if you guys want any specific questions, try and let us know. All right, go ahead, Matt.
All right,
sorry.
Yeah, let's see that.
Okay, so I'll just say, first of all, hey, a big hello to everybody out there that's tuned in as well. And you guys really support my channel, and I really appreciate that. And the members are really great in the channel as well. Yeah, big thanks to you all. But yeah, so getting back to this guy here. So you remember, quite different from that is I did that female there, but I also did a male version of it sort of looked like clay, and then I sort of changed it and I just sort of like moved the jaw around like that and put these teeth in and then hollowed out the eyes and all of that. So I wasn't drawing this, but I you can sort of see the resemblance of it.
Right.
And I think that's a real great thing to do is if you have, like if you want to carve skulls, you can get just plastic skulls and then you can sort of like work it out from there. You know, it's, I've got a 3D printed skull that I often refer to when I carve a skull on this channel.
So Perry says real quick, I want to share this. Perry the Carving Wizard says, you're a Dremel Jedi, Matt. So he really appreciates you. And I do want to make a funny comment real quick. It's funny how the lady figure turned into that other figure. It kind of reminds me that sometimes when my wife is mad, it kind of gets to that point. It turns into that. And Rusty's wife, she just hits him. So it's good. It's good.
No, we don't have to talk about that. Yes, whatever. I'm an abused spouse, but
you're not abused. You'd like it.
No, I'm not. Dang it! I had a real pertinent question, and then you messed me up, Deland. By I'll think of it in a minute. I don't know.
I have another question. Do you have any aha moments that you share with your students or you may share on your channel that really just jump out at you about carving and getting into carving? Has there ever been an aha moment that this is what I should do, this is what I should be doing, or something along those lines, just a poof right in the mind going, you know what, this is so right. Have you ever had a moment like that?
I don't think I've any massive moments like that, but there's little moments where you think, why didn't I discover this tool beforehand? Like this standing piece here is just so awesome, and I was just trying to think of other things. I guess one of the ones that I found quite useful when carving eyes is when you've got that, when you're carving an eye, you've got to do the eye mound. And so I find the movement of the bird that goes from here to here off the nose. And if you can imagine that, and I always do it with a sphere burr, and you sort of like carve it down like that, and it just forms the eye mound. And I try and put that in my videos. I know a lot of people find it really particularly hard to carve eyes, and I understand. I find it hard as well, but I don't know. I find it hard to do kind of eyes that are quite expressive. What I find is carving, like in a lot of sculptures, eyes are extremely difficult to do because some of them seem quite dead and sort of like look straight ahead or something like that. Looking off to the side, it's sometimes a little bit more interesting, but yeah, they're very hard to do. And so, it's totally understandable when you carve sort of like the typical kind of wood spirit, sort of like the shadow forming the eye. I think like that one there with the Viking, and there's no eye there, but it kind of looks like an eye, doesn't it?
Right,
it sort of like just forms it. Yep. And so that's what I was talking about before, is carving it in the square, sort of like that point, and it sort of forms the face, so the cheeks come back like that. If I'd started over again, I would not carve in the round to learn how to carve faces. I would always carve on on that point, just so you get the dynamics of the face right to start off with. And then I'd move to like round carvings a little bit later on.
So
Okay.
the Electric Whittler has a question, and it says,
Yeah, it's a good
it's a
one.
pretty good question. It says, where do you turn to for instructional purposes, or is it all just trial and error? And if that's the case, thank you for doing the heavy lifting for us, Matt. So, and I've got another question after that I want to ask, but I'll go ahead and have you answer that one if you don't mind.
I think, it's always good to watch other YouTube channels. I think Alec Lacasse is an extremely good teacher. And because he does that for a living as well, and on his like he's got that course that he runs online, and he really learns a lot. So you can sort of gather a lot from how he teaches, but a lot of it is trial and error, And it's like I've been making videos for about 4 years now, and I used to concentrate on making them really entertaining. And I don't know, have music on there, and I'd get comments saying, "Oh, your music's too loud," and all this kind of stuff, and maybe they were right. I don't know, but I think when you're doing YouTube channels, you got to sort of like you got to decide your niche, what you're going to go for, and I was sort of like maybe sort of like honed down on the teaching aspect of it as opposed to the entertainment side. I try and put a little bit of entertainment in there.
He kind of already answered that question from Carrie. If you're carving and take too much off, you just go with it. And he pretty much said, and he uses it for a learning experience.
Awesome.
All right, so getting into something a little
Rusty,
different.
I'm going to step out for 1 second.
Okay, all right. Getting into something a little different. Editing videos. So, do you do all your editing, and how much of a pain in the butt is it to you?
Yeah, it's pretty painful.
Yeah.
I do it all, and you think I'd get quicker at it, but I don't really. I find the last 2 videos have actually starting to approach things a little bit differently and talking while I'm making the video. Whereas before that, I was talking, doing a voiceover, I guess you'd say. And I find the voiceover thing is very time consuming. Whereas if you're doing the video, you can really understand what you're doing at that point, and you're videoing it, and there's very little editing afterwards. You might be sort of like have this long half an hour session where it's just coming to like cutting things out virtually. But I do all my own video editing. And
what software? What software are you using?
I use Filmora.
Filmora, okay.
Yeah,
all right. I'm using Movavi right now, but I keep hearing a lot of good things about DaVinci, though I hear that it's a little involved and there's a little bit of a learning curve with all that. I don't know. It takes me forever. Yeah. Like it took me pretty much all morning from about 7 to noon to put together and fix the intro, and it's like 1:38.
Yeah.
and it just, you gotta. It's crazy. That's the only thing that keeps me. I hate editing. I like it when I'm doing it, but knowing that I'm gonna go film a bunch of stuff and then that I'm gonna have to come back and edit it and try to make it cohesive. I'm just like, I just want to make stuff. I know people, want to see, but I just want to be in the shop making stuff and working. I don't want to have to think about cameras or none of that. And I know that's not good for a YouTube channel. That's why I come hang out with Delan and do stuff for him. And Yeah, I don't know.
So
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask one more question. I don't think we covered this. And then, Matt, if you don't mind, because we've kind of peppered you with questions for a straight hour, would you mind if I opened up the panel to let one or two people on and come on with you and get a chance to speak with you?
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. So the last question that I want to ask is my notepad just went up. I lost it. What, besides wood spirits, what projects would you recommend for a beginner carver? Would you recommend going straight in full on to try and do wood spirits? Or would you recommend to focus on the eyes, the mouth, the features before you go all in on just going into a wood spirit? What would you recommend for somebody that is brand new to carving?
If they're brand new to carving, I'd probably recommend doing a relief carving. Have I got any here? The only ones that I've got is, let's have a look at my table. I'll see if I can move this video, this camera. But sort of stuff like that. Sorry, I'm trying to have a look. Can you see that?
Yes.
So,
awesome.
yeah. So and like I've got dragons over here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
Nice.
Chinese dragon, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I'll just put this camera back.
let's not forget the Creation Dust 777 sticker. So
yeah,
all those awesome carvings, and then Creation
and a
Dust.
Perry there.
There you go.
Oh, Perry.
I'd recommend just doing sort of like those relief carvings because it gets you used to holding the Dremel and just understanding how it moves through wood. When it comes to you really want to carve wood spirits, I probably would not. I'd go and I haven't really thought about this, but I kind of think don't go in just to carving the parts, carve the whole face because it all relates to each other. When I find carving, like if you were to carve a nose by itself, it's actually quite hard because you don't have any relationship to the rest of the face. Mm-hmm. But like I said before, I think carving on the angle there and watch some whittling people just do like those simple faces that they do, and you get to understand how they do it, and then sort of try and emulate that when you're going in with a Dremel. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, and when I first started a couple of months ago, I was having a problem with depth, knowing how far to go down. And I mean, I would take a log this big, and by the time I got done with it, it was like this big. So what I have figured out for myself, and maybe you can tell me this makes sense or not, I don't go down as deep as I should at first. I kind of work with it, and that gives me two angles to look at. For one, it gives me a little bit more control over the carving. And you touched on this earlier. If you see something in that piece you might not have seen or saw, if you just went right into it, you can make those adjustments if you have time. So for me, it works out much better just slowly working at it, not trying to go crazy deep at first, and then working with the wood. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I think if I was to look at like a reference point that you should go off, I think the angle of the nose, sort of like we look at that, and you've got that angle there, so you're going in and you could just imagine maybe you're trying to get that angle there of the nose in. And once you've got that angle, then everything kind of relates to it.
Yeah.
So you could almost kind of leave the nose and then you push the forehead back and then form the eyes and the cheeks all going around that angle of the nose.
I have heard that phrase, push the forehead back, more times than I've ever thought I was going to hear in my entire life. And now, as I'm carving, I hear different voices in my head. Push the forehead back. So, yes. Why am I in trouble, Uncle Steve? He says, oh, you're so in trouble. I don't know exactly why, but you know what? I'm in trouble all the time, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So everybody in the chat, I posted the link if you would like to join in on the panel and ask Matt a couple questions. If you don't want to join, that's fine. We'll try and take some questions in chat. But I do want to open this up, for a couple of people that may want to jump on and, share some stories with Matt about your carving experience because of him. And if you guys are good with just staying in chat, then we'll keep going. And I don't want to take up all of his time. It's like noon there, right? It's 12 o'clock now.
Yeah. You're good for time. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I do want to be respectful to his time. So if anybody wants to jump in.
So do you have any other hobbies not related to artwork? Like are you a fisherman? Do you like play volleyball? Do you like go swimming? Are you a runner? I mean, are you a workout freak? Get all pumped up and
So living in New Zealand, I've always been into sort of like sports that I guess you'd say a little bit dangerous. So I started off when I was doing motocross, and then I flew paragliders for quite a few years, about 15 years. And I went over seas and flew paragliders, and I actually flew in France, quite close to where Claire lives, if anyone knows Claire, at Saint Andre. And but I gave that up when I got married, and then I took up running, and like typical, I went to the extreme and I'd run in these 100K races and all that kind of stuff. And at the current moment, I'm really into just biking on gravel. So, and I try and stay fit because of I just love staying fit anyway, but it's really good if you're working on fires and all of that to be quite fit. So, so that's pretty much probably my only other hobby, I think.
Do you feel, hold on, sorry, Deland. Do you feel the fire thing, do you feel like, I hear there's like, some people get a pull, like to the fire, like the bigger the fire, the more danger. It's like, it's like it pulls you to it. Like you feel like you have to be there and it's like an entity, that you're battling. Do you get that? Do you feel that?
Yeah, you do. I think, when you race to the station, there's a lot of people there, and we don't have the amount of trucks to take all the people. So the people that get left behind, they're pretty disappointed. And because, you're going out to help people and try and help your community and all of that. But, there is an element of adrenaline as well, which is kind of fun. And it is, like you're referring to, it is a bit of a beast that you're up against. But you've got to remember, that it's a pretty cruel beast you're up against. It's going to really teach you a lesson if, you're not playing around.
Heck yeah. But, that's amazing. I think the men and women that run towards a fire, there's something extra, about you, because it doesn't play. It does not play.
Yeah, I watch a lot of the fires in America on YouTube and all of that. And I'm amazed at how many fires you guys have over there. We don't have hardly that many.
So, Electric Whittler, and this is going to lead into what I'm going to ask real quick before we let Perry go. Electric Whittler goes, I would have never pinned Matt as an adrenaline junkie. So, with that being said, motocross. I would have never in a million years thought that you did motocross, and I would love to hear about that. Did you travel with the circuit? Was it something that was local? How long did you do it?
I only did that for about 4 years when I was a teenager, and I got quite good at it. Well, for New Zealand standards anyway. And I'd race the 125 2 strokes, because that's where, back then it was all 2-stroke, and now it's quite a lot of 4 strokes out there. So I did that for quite a while, and then moved to paragliding after that, and found paragliding was a little bit more sedate, but it still had its moments, and I especially enjoyed flying through Europe and Turkey and Greece and all of those places.
So what I'm hearing here, and I'm going to get a little humor going on. So you started off with motocross. Let's say you got bored with that, and then, the adrenaline just wasn't there. So you go to paragliding, which is pretty, you draw a lot of adrenaline. Then you went to fighting fires. What are you going to do after that? Inquiring minds want to know.
I have done quite a few other things as well. I did a lot of when I did paragliding, I also did whitewater kayaking, only up to a grade 3 level, but it was kind of like a good thing to do along with paragliding, because it was very weather dependent paragliding. So when the weather wasn't great for paragliding, we'd go out whitewater kayaking. And I also bought like what's called a kite buggy, and so that's sort of like kite surfing, but it's on land. And so I did that for a while. I still got that, and I still go out on our beach here and go kite bugging and all that kind of stuff. I think in New Zealand we're really into our kind of extreme sports. I don't have that much fear when it comes to heights or anything like that. Yeah, people don't pick me as an adrenaline junkie, I think, because I'm quite calm demeanor. But
so have you broke bones?
I've only broken one bone, but I have come quite close to dying quite a few times.
Oh, wait a second.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so Perry jumped on. I want to give Perry a couple of minutes to talk, because I know Perry is a pretty big fan. So, Perry, the stage is all yours, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for your videos. They've helped me a lot. They brought me to a whole nother level. You might think it don't help, but it does help people. I've only been carving for 4 years.
Nice.
And Perry,
thanks, Perry.
Bear asked if you would flex and say, "I pity the fool."
Say what?
Yeah, Perry. Go, "I pity the fool."
I pity the fool.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Bear's crazy. Bear's crazy.
Off the rails. Thanks, Bear.
All right. Well, seeing what Cat Peace just said, ride 'em cowboy EW. Would you think about riding a bull, Matt Carves?
No, he's gone.
I have done it.
No.
Rodeo cat.
Wow, dude.
I had this friend, and we went to. He was really into riding bulls and all of that, and he said, "Come along." And it wasn't a great bull to ride. It was pretty docile, but it was still pretty scary.
Oh yeah.
I don't really like it because you're not in control. You know, it's sort of like if you're on a motorbike, at least you can sort of point it in a direction. But you know, when you're on a bull, it's just nuts.
So,
And they're heavy.
do you ever have any plans? And if you do, you really need a GoPro because we want to see it. But do you ever have any plans, I think, to go to Spain and do the running with the bulls? That's different. You have control.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd do that. If you remember, I've never been really seriously hurt, so I'm quite calculated in my risks.
There you go.
So,
Well, if you run fast, the risk is lower, and if you learn to trip the guy in front of you, then you're even better.
Wow.
Yeah, as long as you can run faster than the other person, you know, you're pretty much safe, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah. So Perry, since we've got you, I'm going to ask, and you know, Matt's here. Are there any projects, Perry, that you have done where Matt may have inspired you to do, or is there something in carving that Matt may have inspired you to try something different or to try to do?
The eyes. I was scared to do them before, and I kept watching his videos on how to do it. And if y'all saw when I did your live last Saturday, that's kind of what helped me. The eyes have just come natural to me. And the only way to get better is to keep doing them. Even if they suck and you don't like them, keep doing them. And watch somebody that is doing them, see their technique, and trying to copy what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or make it your own. Make it your own style.
Yeah. So the bear video I watched Matt do, and he talked a lot about you know the chainsaw carvers are kind of doing it this way or that way, and you know it's like he was trying to I don't know emulate it a little bit or you know you were definitely, it seemed like you were taking inspiration from you know watching what the chainsaw creation does, I think specifically that you were like you know taking it off here and taking it off there. It's pretty freaking interesting. I was enthralled. Oh,
it's
mail call.
Matt's just able to explain it. He's able to explain it in a way that I can understand. I don't know if I speak for everyone, but he just has that way to. He's a natural teacher.
Oh yeah.
I actually you would notice that like I come in and watch videos of people as well, and what I notice over the period of time is people getting better, you know, which is really nice to watch. And you know, especially you, Perry, your carving has come a long way, and it's nice to know that I've had a part of that.
Yeah.
I think you've had a part of.
I just wanted to thank you.
Yeah, I think you've had a part of more people than what you know or maybe realize. That's one reason why. I mean, I really am happy you came on because I can see so much of you in what I'm trying to learn and what other people do. So I believe there are a lot of people in the carving community who appreciate you and appreciate your efforts. And, you know, I wanted to be able to have you on.
That's awesome. It's awesome that that you took time out to join us. I got a mail call. This one is from Delan Robbins or something. I don't know. Just came in the mail, and then I don't know the screen name. Oh, Michael S. I got a letter from Michael S.
And the electric whittler said that you has definitely had part in what I've been able to accomplish in carving. So yes, you have affected many, many people. But
Mm.
what we normally do around this time is, because we have asked you so many questions, if you have any questions or if you want to ask any questions, we kind of open it up for you to ask Rusty and I some questions, if that's something that you want to do. We want to take the pressure off of you getting bombarded with questions and put it on us, because you've handled it like a rock star. I'm telling you. So everybody in chat,
Cool.
I have to be honest, and I think Matt will back me up on this. He had no clue what the questions were going to be tonight, because I was really hoping to get authentic answers, not something that he thought about beforehand. So all these answers that he's given tonight to these questions have been genuine answers. Just so you guys know, that's the truth. And I think Matt can.
That's how he is.
Yep.
Yep.
It is the truth. I
And
guess
Mark Carves
it's
says
easy to
Matt
understand.
played a bigger part in my carving development. Thanks for that, Matt. So awesome.
I'm
cheers,
gonna get off
Matt.
the spotlight and let you have it, Matt.
Thanks
for what you do,
Mark, thank you. Mark is probably the only other carver in New Zealand that follows me, I think. It's quite strange. All of my most of my subscribers are from America and Canada. So and other places, England probably then, and then France, and but it's mainly America.
So have you and Mark Tries to Carve ever met up or got together or collaborated on anything?
No, we haven't. We're in different islands, which always makes it difficult, and we live quite a long way away from each other. But I'd like to get over there sometime and say hello at least. And but we haven't been to his neck of the woods for quite a while. But it's sort of like, because when I fly up to the North Island, I usually go and see my parents, which is up quite a long way up the North Island. So, but if I was going to ask you, you said ask you guys a question. And this will go out to everybody as well. What do you think my channel is missing out on? Like, is there something I should be teaching? How could I improve my channel?
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
You know what? Like, I'm trying to think of how to teach a wood spirit, and you're sitting there going, "Oh, I wish you would just teach me like this one thing or something like that."
See, for me personally, I am so young in this journey. Everything that you have out right now helps regardless. So I haven't really found a spot to be like, wow, I really wish you would do a video on this. If I did, I would definitely let you know. But some of you more advanced guys in carvings, what is something that you may recommend that would be beneficial? Now, Perry just said maybe set them up in stages. Not sure what that means, but because you showed us how to block it out. So I'm not sure what he means about that. So yeah, I am so new to carving. Everything that I watch of yours is still completely brand new to me.
So my question is, have you thought about ASMR? Do you know what ASMR is?
Yes, I know what ASMR is. But, have you heard of Dremel? It's not pretty.
Forget that part. I'm talking about, that you got a great accent and you got a great voice. I'm telling you, I think if you started a separate channel where you did ASMR and you just read the catalog and talked about, tools and stuff in the catalog just in a real, kind of low, I think it would be a hit. I think it would.
Yeah.
I think you would do well.
Cool.
Timless Creations puts in perhaps carving some pendants with hand tools.
Yeah, maybe. I very really like I can carve with hand tools, but I try and stick to doing Dremel work mainly for my channel. Because I'm a Dremel carver, you very rarely see me going outside that, and this is probably getting more into tips on YouTube. Is you should it's all different what people believe in and all that kind of stuff. And my tip that I follow is I just stick to my niche. And if I was going to carve and hand carving, I'd probably start another channel and do that. Yeah, because I kind of think you confuse the algorithm if you put too many different things on your channel. And
You do. And I agree with that 100% because just for giggles one day, I chat GBT'd my channel, because if you chat GBT your channel, it will actually give you information on your channel.
Yep.
And chat GBT let me know that I was too scattered, and they recommended other woodworking channels above mine because I didn't have pretty much a set niche. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier, because I do woodworking. Now I'm starting to do carving. The algorithm is so confused as to where to put me. I never really got into YouTube for the algorithm. I got into YouTube to share my experiences.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that. And hold on one second. I'm going to try and go up here. So we're a couple that I missed.
Pine and Oak Woodworks wants to know, how far are you from Lake, I'm guessing Taupo? I watch another family on YouTube and they live near there.
Mark is closer to Lake Taupo than I am. Let's hold on just a sec. Okay. All right. Can you see that map there?
Yep.
So, just trying to. I live down there. Mark lives around about here, and this is Lake Taupo about here. And I grew up there.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, but I actually did used to live by Lake Taupo when I was working in a little town there when I was younger.
So Creation Dust asked, Rusty, I think, undid it. What about stone carving? Creation Dust, Josh goes, what about stone carving with the Dremel? That would be a unique twist.
We have a stone called Oamaru stone here, which is, I'm not sure what it is, but my father, I have carved it with a Dremel, and it's kind of like quite dusty. It's not like a real hard stone. I'll show you actually the one that my father did. It's quite hard to orientate this when you're facing. I've just got to go out here. So he carved this like gargoyle. But he carved this with a chisel. I'm not sure if you can see it there. Can you see that? Oh, there.
Oh, now we can. Wow.
Well, I can't see anything. Yeah, so he carved that. So yeah, he's a very good carver, my father. But yeah, no, I think carving stones would be quite cool. But there's a lot of greenstone carving here in New Zealand, and that's sort of like a really hard stone, but you sort of have to have water drips going on the stone at the same time just to cool it down and all of that. Yeah.
The electric whittler said maybe some of your wooden jewelry making would be fun for us to attempt. If that's something that you would, or does that come back to it's too different from the algorithm?
It is a little bit too different, and I'm just trying to think. It's quite. It's probably not the jewelry that you probably think it is. It's quite minimal. I use skateboards and just make little studs out of them. And also, there's another one that I do, and it's made out of piano keys, the black keys, and then I put a guitar string going through the bottom of them. And they're very, very minimal. And to make them, I use a big disc sander and make them on that. So it's actually quite a boring process, really, to be honest. It's sort of like it's the bread and butter, you know. It's sort of like I sell them in shops and all of that. So that's how I get some of my money. And,
so now you just mentioned it, and I completely forgot that I read that in the bio on your page. You use broken skateboards to make jewelry and carvings and stuff. How did you come up with that idea?
I think I just saw it on Pinterest. Somebody was making some stuff out of skateboards, and then I had a look locally, and a guy was making knife handles out of the skateboards, and he would have offcuts of those. And so I just asked them for them, and then I would just make jewelry out of them, and they sold really well because, you know, they're actually made out of Canadian maple and really strong wood. I'll see if I've got any. I've got some here.
So while you're looking for that, I'm going to address a comment. So Woodworking 52 says, "What the heck is the land all dressed up for?" So when you are in the presence of somebody like Matt, you put on a good shirt. Now, what I will tell you is, on my way out to the garage, my wife looks at me and says, "What? You'll get all dressed up for a YouTuber, but you can't get dressed up for me?" And I told her, "Well, you don't have over 20,000 subscribers."
Okay, so
yes, tonight I did put on a little bit nicer shirt because I just wanted to give Matt that respect. So,
yeah, cool. So so these are the broken skateboards. So you can sort of see they're all coming in different colors. And that's sort of like a branding exercise on their part. And then I will make little, so those are little studs, earring studs, and I'll put a real high gloss varnish on them. And then I just send them out to shops and I will sell them that way. They're quite cool, actually. I used to sell them overseas, but like just the postage just got too much, you know.
Yeah.
And
so Runic, if Runic's in the house, did you just see that? I mean, that looks like something that Runic would do, because he's always painting the skateboards and stuff, and those are really cool.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did make a skull out of one ages ago. So, and the piano keys, like that's a piano key there, as you can see. I haven't put the silverware on this, but I'm just trying to work this out. So I sort of like sand it, cut it down to like this, and that little part there going through it, that's a guitar string. And so there'll be sort of like, it's a little bit of a cross section of it as well, because I'll sand into it. And they are really good sellers.
So Tim List, yes, I will probably be keeping the couch warm tonight because I got dressed up for Matt and not my wife. Yes. Now, did you put that inlay in, or because you said it was a guitar string? Excuse me. you put that inlay in? Nice.
Yeah,
What did you use to
so the
stick it?
idea is sort of what I do is I'll take a piano key like that. I'll saw it down the middle with a scroll saw, so you've got two parts, and then I will have like a thin part there, and then I will drill a hole pretty close to what the guitar string is going through it, and then I will on a big descender I will just sort of like sand it back gradually so it goes into the guitar string, and that's how I do that inlay. So it's put into a full hole and then sanded back to reveal the guitar string. So I can make, I can make 4 earrings out of, well, 2 pairs of earrings out of one piano key. So
that is unique and interesting. That's awesome.
yeah.
So you don't actually cut it and then put the inlay in. You cut it in half, put it in, glue it back together, and then sand it back down, and then it reveals the guitar string. So it's like it's just a part of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. It's that's what I've found. If you're selling things, the more you can have a story to it, the better. And people who are into music really love this, and people who are into skateboarding or have got skateboarding in their past really like the skateboards. So I find like if you're into selling stuff, you've got to have that history to the piece. And if you're making woods, like I don't sell wood spirits, but like I would probably, if I did, I would put where I got the wood from, and so they can identify where it came from. And they might have a connection to that river that you found it on, or something like that, or a connection to the type of tree it was. So, yeah,
I agree with that 100%. I think no matter what, I think every piece has some type of story, like you said, whether it's the wood in the region that you find it. I just did this one, and I've done some flats before, but they've never really came out great. So over the last couple of days, I wanted to try another one. So this is it. And
cool.
it's not the best, but what I really wanted to highlight was the moon. If you could see the moon coming up right between the eyes.
Yep.
And what I did with this is I purposefully did not, I'm going to solo it back again. I did not flatten out or Dremel all this up here, and the beard and the mustache. The star I kind of left, but what I was really liking about this wood and the moon is I kind of wanted to portray that the moon was shining light out, but then as it's dark, yes, the moon puts out light, but then it goes into darkness. So that's kind of my story with this piece. So I kind of understand what you're saying. Does that make sense if you look at it?
Yep. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
do you get into the seasonal stuff? I know y'all don't have the same all the same seasonal stuff. Or I guess you have. Do you do Christmas? Do you celebrate Christmas down there?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we don't know. Yeah.
No, the thing is that some of we have the same kind of things like Halloween and all of that, but you guys seem to celebrate it at a higher level than us. And the only reason why I know that is because I got brought up on American TV, and you see the extent you go to when it comes around to Halloween. And I've seen like on YouTube channels how much people watch these Halloween things and all of that. But I don't I have done well. I did that. Did I do that for a Halloween thing? I think so.
Right.
But
I love that
I
piece.
guess that was for a Cutzel competition, I think. Yeah, but yeah, we do. I do the seasonal stuff. I think I've done a few Father Christmases and all of that stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
I probably, I probably should plan out my YouTube channel a little bit better to focus on those things. But I'm pretty relaxed on not. I don't really tend to promote myself that well, and it's probably I probably should have more subscribers by now. I don't know, but I've never actually had a viral video. I've got a video currently that's sitting at 150,000 views, but that has taken a long time to get there.
Mhm.
But I've never had a viral video, which I'm not actually too worried about because a lot of people say viral videos can actually damage your channel, bring in all the wrong subscribers and all of that kind of stuff. So I quite like the slow growth of it,
Mhm.
And a lot of the time I forget to say, please subscribe and all of that kind of stuff. And I just get carried away with making the video in the car.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know that anymore, as much as it is said, oh, please subscribe and stuff. I've seen comments on, other people, oh, he's going to say, like and subscribe and, all that. And, I don't know if that even does anything anymore. I think it's pretty much
yeah.
known that if you're gonna watch somebody and you like them, you're gonna subscribe. I mean, you're
Yeah.
just gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I
think that's
Simlist has a question, and maybe this is something that you guys can get together offline. But it's a really good question because I like what he's doing and the reason. It says, Matt, I would like to do a relief carving of my dad's World War II ship. Any suggestions? It is for him, and his dad passed away 8 years ago. So something with that size. Um, how would you recommend going about that?
I would probably World War II ship. I would just try and find images of it to start off with, and then find some kind of iconic image, maybe, and try and work out on that ship what makes it kind of special.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you got to look at how you want it displayed, and that will probably sort of indicate how big it's going to be and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a great project. It's definitely doable. It's a great project for a beginner because virtually a relief carving can look great just because it's a lot easier to do, but it still looks like it's been done by almost like a professional or something like that. I did one for my mother who was from the Forest of Dean, and it's from a mining town, and I went back and I looked for iconic images of a miner, and I managed to find just a picture from a poem, I think it was, and she knew the poem, so I figured she must know the image, so I did that, and she really loved it, and it just looked really good. I find you probably notice a lot about my carvings is I don't tend to paint my carvings, and I just really like the look of wood, and I think things like that would look better in natural kind of woods as opposed to it being painted. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, not quite sure what else to say.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. I started painting a few wood spirits just because I used to love to do distressing and antiquing and stuff, and some wood, I don't know what type of wood that I'm actually carving on most of the time because it's wood that I find on the ground. I just pick up old dead limbs. And there are some pieces that are just so white. Even if you put clear coat on them, it doesn't really change the coloration or the features. So I find those pieces of wood for me are better to try and add a little paint, to bring it to life. But now, this one, it just had so much character in the wood that there was no way I was painting it because it was almost self-centered to where the light and the dark was on one side and the other, and carving it, just the glow from it, and I believe it's a piece of cedar. It was just, there was no way I was painting this because naturally it was already beautiful. So yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
We are probably going to end in about another 5 minutes because I know Rusty has another channel to go to and want to be able to have a couple minutes backstage with Matt. But real quick, thank you guys for being here. And thank you, Matt, for being here. I think this has been a really great time. Yeah. I've enjoyed it. And I think you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. But if anybody's got one last question or one last anything, shoot it out now. I'll try and get it in. But I'm going to end it here in probably about another 5 minutes. Just so you go.
Cool.
Awesome. Yep. But yeah, your inspiration to so many people. I do believe that you should have more subscribers than what you have because your footprint in the carving community, the carving industry, is top notch. And
thank you.
There's very few people that I can. The only thing I can really hold on. So the Shoops are doing a giveaway for 250 subscribers. So if anybody hasn't, go to the Shoops and see if you can get in on the giveaway.
I think I left a comment somewhere, but I'll make sure to go over there because I never win. I try to enter all these things. Right. I never.
So really
never win. Whatever.
I compare, and I don't compare you and Jordy together per se, because there's in my opinion no comparison because it's two completely different styles of carving.
Yep.
But if there are two people in the carving community that I think need to be put up there, on a I don't know, I want to say pedestal, but need to be put up there, it is you and him.
Absolutely.
And
thank you.
But like I said, there's no comparison because it's two completely different styles, which I appreciate. And I can see both in a lot of people carving.
I kind of put it as Matt is more of the kinder, gentler teacher. Whatever.
No, Jordy's good, but I've said it before, and I don't think I am off on this. Jordy is a good teacher, but he's more of a just get in there and rip that wood out and just carve. Where Matt is a little bit more patient, and takes his time and explains a little bit more detail, finer detail.
Yeah,
if that's a good way to put it on what you're doing and how to do it. So both great carvers, but definitely two different.
Yep.
I think when you're learning, it's really good to watch different carvers. And
pick up.
It's definitely it's so good YouTube for that. You've got Geordie, myself, Alec Lacasse, and there's lots of other people as well. And I think people there's a whole lot of new people coming through as well, and it's good to watch them as well because you've got the same struggles as them sometimes.
Yeah, and Nope, go ahead. Yes, and what influenced me, and really the reason I found you, is because I was watching, even though chainsaws, I was watching Beard and the Boss Lady, chainsaw carving, Creation Dust, chainsaw carving, then getting into the community, Rhinestone, Suzanne, Harry, Amy Jo, and everybody else, and seeing what they were doing opened it up to starting to hear names, and then checking out those channels, and that's ironically how I found you. And I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. And you made it for me very approachable and not easy. It's not easy, but you broke it down to where it simplified it for me, if that makes any sense.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Matt. Thanks everybody for joining us, and it's been fantastic.
Yep. I hope you guys had a great night. We're going to go ahead and end the stream because Rusty's got to be somewhere in about 12 minutes. Matt, hang out, and we're going to talk to you for a few more minutes. But everybody else, have a great night, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Do you have any last words, Matt?
Just thank you everybody for showing up to this live, and also for supporting my channel over the years. And I just love the community. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. You guys have a good night, and we are out.
Y'all be good.